Hi guys, and welcome to Reality with T. So I want to talk about Natalie and Mike from 90 Day Fiance. This is a summary of episodes 1 through 4, so I'm just catching up. So if you guys remember, Natalie is from the Ukraine and Mike is from somewhere very rural in Washington, and he lives on a farm or like all these acres of land. There's a lot of farmland, and he and his Uncle Bo live in a house together. Because I don't know, Uncle Bo seems as if, maybe he's been out there a little bit and maybe he's trying to get his life together. He's in his 50s. He's really a cousin, but he calls him his aunt, I guess, his uncle, I guess, because of the age difference. And Uncle Bo is a nice man, but he lives in the house together with Mike and everybody's happy. So now, let's go back to the end of last season. I don't know if you guys remember that Natalie and Mike got into a big argument, and we found out this was just 2 months ago in the show. A big argument when he went to the Ukraine because they were having a conversation. They were kind of having some issues. And then in the interview, one of the producers asked her, "Do you love Michael?" And she said, "I don't know that I can say that because, I guess they've been going through some things," or whatever it is, her definition of love, she isn't able to say. To her, it's bigger than just, oh, we have these googly eyed feelings. There needs to be, different behaviors, different things involved, and she was not able to say she loves him. So at that point, he kind of walked out. I forgot when they got to, or was it at that time that she gave him the ring back because she's very impulsive, and he just kind of left, and it was kind of up in the air, like, I don't think we're engaged anymore, the whole thing. I guess since then, they've been talking a lot on the phone, but still having very serious issues. And then now, Michael gets a call from her that she is approved for the K1 visa and she has to be in the United States within 20 days. So you can kind of see his face in the car, where he's like, okay, I wasn't expecting this. She asked him a few times, were you excited? In the beginning, he was like, I'm happy, but nothing about his facial expression or body language said that he was happy. He seemed very confused. He seemed like, oh crap, I did not think this was going to happen anytime soon. I was on my way out of this relationship. This is not what I want. And now she got approved for this. And he seems very put on the spot, but I guess his thing is, we put in so much work to do this, let's just bring her here and try to see if we can do it. There definitely is not a commitment from him to marry her in 90 days. And she is also feeling kind of in an unstable place because he took the ring back. So to him, that was hurtful because he's like, in the States, if you give the ring back, that means it's over. To her, it was just, I think it was just an impulsive thing. No more engagement. Here's your ring. She didn't think that it would be that serious. And I guess she thought that she would get it back and everything would be hunky-dory. So we see that they're going to have some issues when she heads over here to the United States, right? So I guess the issue that she is having with him and that they were arguing about in the Ukraine a few months ago and during the tell-all was that she didn't trust him. I think there was a situation where he was like the best man for a female friend, and the night before the wedding, he slept over in the apartment. I guess he slept on the couch. The woman was in the room, and Natalie was under the assumption that they hooked up. No reason to think that. I think that would be very weird and grimy if he were to do that, hook up with the bride the night before her wedding. I mean, listen, I don't put anything past anybody. Maybe he did, but for some reason she thinks he did, so she cannot trust him. I also know that she is very clingy and needy and insecure, and I can see her being very possessive and jealous and thinking that for absolutely no reason. So, let's see. I know another thing that he had mentioned that they kind of argued about, or she brought up when he was there. Remember, there was also a fight about religion when she was there. She's very religious. He does not believe in God. He believes in aliens or some other alternate universe. And that is a very big thing for her. He also eats what he eats. At one point, Uncle Bo was like, I'm going to go, it wasn't him that was like, I'm going to go shoot an elk and like just eat it. So obviously he's a meat eater, but she's a vegan and she would like him to be a vegan. So that was also a conversation that they have. So what you see is very serious, very big lifestyle differences they have between them. And I think that Mike is now seeing this is not something I'm going to compromise on. So, he said her coming here is stressful, it's causing him stress, right? And so, we see her talk to him a few days before she arrives, and she says, Uncle Bo is still living there. I've talked to him a few times, but I'm not going to live in a house with a stranger. We need time together. He has to go. And Mike is kind of put on the spot. Like, I don't want to kick him out. Uncle Bo is my family. He lives here. You're going to have to give me a few days. And I thought that he was saying when you get here, he'll still be here a few days until we transition him out. It's not going to be anything abrupt. But I guess her thing was like, I don't want to be in the house with him. And, Mike is saying, well, at the beginning, he said, I'm not kicking him out. It's not all about her. She's being very selfish about this. I can definitely understand where he's coming from. Like, you can't tell me 3 weeks ahead of time that I have to kick out a family member who's been living with me for however long. And he also is helping him run the land, right? To maintain the land. I can understand where she's coming from too, because Uncle Bo looks a little shifty. We like him from the TV. He has a lot of personality. He's very easygoing and accommodating, but he looks a little shifty. So I can understand, I'm going to a different country. Apparently, Mike works from early in the morning till late in the evening. I'm going to have to be in the house with this man who I have no idea who he is the entire day. I can understand where she's coming from. But I'm very surprised that Mike kicked him out so abruptly. Luckily, Uncle Bo is very reasonable, and he didn't have a problem with it at all. He understood. He kind of said, listen, I've been with a lot of women. I know how they think. He's like, I understand how they do. I understand that he's doing this to see where this is going to go. I just wish him well. I hope he's happy. He went to his brother's house to live, and he's completely fine. I think in his head, he knows if this doesn't work out, I'll be right back where we were, and we'll go back to being like buddies or whatever it is. And, but he went with no problem. So, now Natalie arrives at the airport, and he greets her with flowers, and immediately she says they're purple, they're purple flowers. And we see her in the car bring it up again. Yeah, but I don't like purple flowers. Why'd you get purple flowers? Blah, 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 blah. I didn't understand where I was coming from, because you didn't have to get any flowers. So you being ungrateful and trying to seem like, I don't know what she's trying to seem like. It's not, we are already on shaky ground. I'm going through all this to welcome you. And then all you can do is complain about the color of flowers that I brought you. That would have annoyed the crap out of me. And I probably would have never bought her flowers again, because she doesn't know how to just simply say thank you and keep it moving. But they do seem genuinely excited to see each other, at least when they greet each other. So now they're driving, and no, they're not driving yet. He took her to Seattle for a couple days, and they stayed at this really, really ritzy hotel, in Seattle. For some reason, he's like, all the hotels in Seattle are very expensive. They're $400 to $500 a night. And even though he is like $30,000 in debt, he decided to splurge on her so that she could like be in the city and see a little bit of the sights before they go to his home, which was nice. I didn't see why he needed a $500 room, because they had they had a whole like dining room with seating for like 8 to 10, and it was only you two. Like, he didn't have to spend that much. He chose to, but whatever floats your boat, right? And she enjoyed it. So then they were there after leaving Seattle, after being there a few days, then they take the driving on those 2-lane roads, dark, backwood, no lights, no people for miles, probably just animals. You just have to have on your high beams and keep it moving type of place, all the way in the country, so far that she fell asleep. And it's just so interesting, her mannerisms, because she like falls asleep on him like while he's driving, and then she's like completely slumped over. But it almost reminds me of like a 4-year-old, and that's what makes her come off as seeming really unstable, because it's like even when she was in Ukraine with her mom, when she would like cuddle up with her in the bed, or she would cry like, Mommy, I need you, and like cuddle up with mom. It's like, you're a 35-year-old woman. Like, you got to keep it together. But her body language, the way she holds herself and her mannerisms make her seem like she is like a 3-year-old. And that would annoy me too if I were him. So either way, she fell asleep on him. So at one point he's like, okay, it's snowy. We're going to go off road now. I need both hands to drive, like an adult. So you're going to have to wake up. Okay. And, the whole time she's saying, when does the wood, we're going deep in the wood. And it's interesting how much these folks don't know about the area that they're moving to before they come here. I would think that if I could not ever be around you all the time we spend on FaceTime, like, give me a tour of your home, show me outside, just take your phone, turn it around, and show me what you're working with. But it's like they're shocked when they get here. And it's almost like, are these American men selling them a dream? Because I don't think that they act like they don't know where they're coming when they get here. So, Oh, they did go meet up with Uncle Bo in Seattle, I believe, before they went to the house. And, she talks about, well, how many drinks are you going to have? And he's like, as many as I want to have. Because remember, she's judgmental about drinking as well. So it's religion, it's what you eat and what you drink. And, but she likes him, she says. And when she gets to the house, she doesn't like his cat. And the house is small and it's cold, and then she needs to process how she feels. And I understand that, that's huge. You are planning to move indefinitely. This is your life now. You're planning to marry this man. This is going to be your home. This is going to be your place. This is going to be where you dwell. And it was shocking to me how much he did not prepare for her. I'm gonna get back to that in a minute, okay? So she doesn't have the ring back. That makes her feel unstable in the relationship. And I think that it was a very big deal for him to give her that ring. So he's taking it very seriously. He's not going to give it back until he's 100% sure that he wants to marry her. And right now he was on his way out the door. So, he did mention she seems shell-shocked, because this is a big change from where she came from. So they wake up the next morning, and I do give her credit. She was trying to help him cook. He was trying to teach her how to make French toast. So she's like cooking, she's beating the eggs. So I do it this way, the whole thing. She was very open to learning how to, make this meal that she never ate before, which was nice, right? So she tasted it, didn't like it. And, because she eats very healthily, and French toast is not healthy. It's bread, it's egg, it's, cinnamon, sugar, whatever you use, right? And syrup. So she's like eating it, and she's like, okay, I kind of am not into this, right? So the thing is, so then she like gets up, and I think she's also trying to make a point. She's like scrapes a carrot, and she like eats a carrot in the corner. And it was just interesting to me how much he did not prepare for her arrival. You had 3 weeks. This is somebody coming from a foreign country. You want her to, I would think, unless he did this on purpose because he just doesn't like her anymore and he's trying to test her or whatever it is, you would think that he would try to make her as comfortable as possible. So you knew that her eating preferences were that she likes to eat, vegan and a vegan lifestyle. So why don't you have any salad or fruits or anything in the house? Even the night before, she's like, can I have some tea? Well, she likes tea. But he's like, well, I don't know. Let me check. It was almost like it was an inconvenience for him to check and see if he has some tea bags. And at this point, the way that she eats. So you had nothing in your house. And I'm just thinking, like, even in somebody in my city that was coming to visit me and stay for a couple days, I would say, are you, what do you like to eat? What are you allergic to? Something you always, as a guest, you accommodate their eating preferences. So if somebody is coming to live with you for the first time, you at least have some food in the house that that they're going to eat, because you don't want them sitting up there being like, I don't have anything to eat, I'm hungry. This is your guest, right? And then not only did he not fill the refrigerator before she came, that long ass drive they took from the airport, he could have stopped somewhere at the grocery store, like, listen, get what you want. We'll pick up some of the things you're going to eat and then we'll take it back. So at least they'll be in the house, because they're so far out. They're nowhere near a grocery store. They're nowhere near anywhere where she can go get food for herself, or he could go get it quickly. So why would you even put yourself in that situation? Or why would you put her in that situation? Which makes me feel like he's really acting like he doesn't care. And he's getting away with it because we like him. He's a calm, easygoing personality. I do think she is way too overreactive to him. She's emotional, the whole thing. And I think that he is just that's not his wavelength. But at the same time, I feel like he didn't even try. And it's just borderline rude the way he's treating her. Also, we all know, okay, women are most of the time more, they're more cold than men. Men have a little bit more meat on their bones, a little bit more muscle, whatever it is. They just don't get as cold as we do. And then regardless of where she's coming from, because I saw everybody in the blogs, oh, she's coming from the Ukraine, it's cold there, the whole thing. But she also lives in an apartment building. Apartment buildings get warm as hell. As y'all see, I'm always here in a t-shirt or tank top because my apartment is always hot as hell. So she's used to being warm when indoors. So for you to have, and as you see for him and Uncle Bo, they're always around the house in jackets and coats or whatever it is. And that's probably cool for them because they're trying to save money. I know where they live. They're trying to save electricity, money for the heating. But now you have a woman in the house. You have somebody else coming. You have somebody who's going to be your wife. You can't turn up the thermostat. Like, she was complaining about being cold the night before. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, it's raining and it's snowing outside, it's icy. So it's obviously cold inside. And she says, like, he lives in like a trailer type of a house, so the walls are thin. Turn up the heat. Like, it's just common sense. Even if I went to a cousin or aunt's house and it was cold and I told them they would turn up the heat a few degrees just for the week that I'm going to be there in order to make me feel comfortable. I don't know. It's just like he doesn't care. He's just kind of like, deal with it. You know, it's snowing. But it's like I'm uncomfortable, and I feel her, because the one of the things that I do not like, I will not be a fun person, is if I'm cold. Like, I need to be warm, and I'm not having fun. I'm not enjoying myself if I'm sitting there cold. And so I would have tried to leave, because I don't stay anywhere where it's cold. So, or I will complain or not want to go back. So I understand where she's coming from, and I think that he was really a jerk for the way he treated her with the food and the cold and everything else. Okay, so then he talks about how he goes to work before she wakes up, and then he'll come back at like 8 in the evening. So she's out there on the farm or at his house alone all this time. Again, you know, now he takes her out the next day. They go to town. She kind of wants to sightsee the whole thing. Town is like whatever, one of those little places where you have like it had like a diner, like a country store, maybe a gas station, whatever. There's nothing there. There's no type of a town compared to where she's coming from, right? And I'm just surprised. Like, he didn't take any days off. You take a day, like a few days off to get her acclimated, to maybe show her around. The woman is going to be in that house, which is surrounded by absolutely nothing and nobody. You're telling me you're going to be gone out of the house, leaving her in there by herself with no adequate food, no adequate heat from 6 a.m., let's say 6 a.m. to 6 to 8 p.m. at night. That's insane. Granted, she should have known this before she got there, but he has not done anything to even make her feel like she would want to stay. Like, you're not even going to take a few days off of work. Like, I'm just appalled by his behavior. And I'm appalled more because I liked him so much, you know? So, you know, she keeps saying, you know, I'm going to be bored. You know, after I clean the house and unpack, then what? You know what I mean? He doesn't care. He's kind of like, oh, you know, do this, do that. But you didn't give her, the woman, anything. You know what I mean? And then we see her again go down. She kind of just like regresses into like a 7 or 8 year old. She pouts, she crosses her arms, she wears her hair in 2 pigtails, walking away. She needs time. She doesn't talk. She starts crying, kind of like a kid. I think that she has very valid points, and if she was able to articulate them in a mature fashion, that he would have to listen to her. But because she, you know, this is her body language, you know, and pouting and, oh, stomping away, I'm so upset, and you're not listening to me, and the crying and the, you know, just the way that she holds herself, scrunching down and everything. He treats her like a kid, and he finds it, I think, her emotions are overwhelming to him. I think that he finds it annoying. I think he finds that it's too much. It's kind of like he has to take on another adult's inability to control her emotions, to say what she's feeling. He kept saying to her, like, I tell my 5-year-old, use your words, you know, and she still wasn't talking. He's like, we don't even have to talk about this. Just say something so I can know what you're thinking. And for some reason, she isn't able to articulate. And it also could be a language barrier as well. You know what I mean? Maybe she knows what she wants to say, but she doesn't feel like she's going to be effective because she isn't able to say what she feels in English correctly, or she won't be able to articulate it correctly. I don't know. But we will see where this goes. I do not have high hopes for this, and from the previews, it seems like her ass is going to be going home before the 90 days are up, and I can definitely see why. Either way, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about these two, and catch me on the next video with the next couple. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.